Their players are black. She also says, Miss Hill does, that there's a lesbian factor here. I don't know anything about this. That many of the players, the WNBA, are lesbians and women of color. And Caitlin Clark is straight and fairly...
The WNBA has suddenly found itself at the center of one of its most explosive controversies in years, and the entire basketball world is watching every second unfold. If you thought the physical battles involving Caitlin Clark had already reached their peak, what happened during this nationally televised matchup has taken the conversation to a completely different level.
Derogatory statements, zeroing in on trying to break her. That happened. And here's how Ms. Clark reacted. Go.
When I walk out of the locker room, I shouldn't be not fearful of what the conversation is going to be, but, you know, you just it's emotionally exhausting, it's draining, it makes your shoulders tense because, you know, people don't want to talk about the basketball. They just want to stir it up and make it something else.
Okay, so Ms. Clark's been relatively classy about this. She has not made any accusations herself, as we can find. But this is around. There's no doubt about it. It's around. This from USA Today, extremely liberal newspaper, getting worse. Over the past few years, as women's basketball has exploded in popularity, much of the media and marketing attention is focused on three prominent white players. Clark, UConn page.
I've rewritten your passage to be unique, smoother, more engaging, and YouTube-friendly, while keeping the intensity and roughly the same length. The controversy has grown so large that even the WNBA commissioner is facing intense criticism. Disciplinary action has already been announced, and Caitlin Clark has finally addressed the situation publicly, giving fans her perspective on everything that unfolded. Stay with us, because we're breaking down the key moments, the impact of the physical play, the league's disciplinary response, and Clark's widely discussed comments, step by step. Now let's go back to the moment many fans believe the game completely slipped out of control. It all happened on June 24, 2026, during a highly anticipated showdown between the Indiana Fever and the Phoenix Mercury at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. While Phoenix escaped with a narrow 111-100 the final score quickly became secondary to the controversy that followed. Late in the second quarter, tensions that had been building throughout the game finally reached a boiling point, setting off a sequence of events that immediately dominated headlines across the basketball world.
Yeah.
Unrelated to that. Do you feel that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of it is it's not always based in reality. I feel like media and journalism have a responsibility to tell the stories, and a lot of times you guys are the ones controlling the narratives about what people read and what people talk about, and a lot of that is sometimes so far out of touch with what is reality, and that can be confusing to somebody that's 24 and trying to navigate life and trying to help her team win a championship.
Case in point, an incident like Alyssa Thomas, the foul. A foul happens on the court.
Yeah.
You move on, she moves on,
Yeah.
and that should be the end of it.
100%.
So top down, what needs to be done so that is?
It seems like there's always a moment like that in every season that I've played so far, and I think for myself, I just try to navigate it the best I can. It gets exhausting, it gets frustrating because
Clark attacked the basket with confidence, slicing through the defense before going to the floor after heavy contact. As both teams fought for the loose ball, the play quickly turned into one of the game's most talked-about moments. During the scramble, Alyssa Thomas appeared to make contact that many viewers believed caught Clark in a sensitive area, and as Clark fell, another point of contact near her upper body immediately sparked widespread debate. To make matters even more controversial, Thomas stepped over Clark as the play ended, a moment that fueled an explosion of reactions across social media. What truly ignited the backlash, however, was the officials' response. Despite the physical sequence unfolding in plain view, play continued without a foul, technical, or ejection, leaving fans and analysts stunned. Fever head coach Stephanie White was visibly frustrated on the sideline, and after the game she openly criticized the officiating, calling the missed calls unacceptable, and raising serious concerns about player safety. White questioned why repeated physical plays involving one of the league's biggest stars were not being addressed, describing the contact as dangerous and urging the league to take stronger action. The following day, Fever president Kelly Krauskopf also released a statement emphasizing that protecting players must remain a top priority. The physical challenges didn't end there. Less than a minute later, another defensive play sent Clark to the floor while attempting a three-point shot, and she landed awkwardly before getting back up while appearing uncomfortable. The sequence added even more concern as she later exited the game with a back injury. Yet despite everything she endured, Clark still delivered an impressive performance with 19 points and 8 assists before leaving the court, further highlighting the resilience that has become a defining part of her game.
Never had a conversation. I get people have a job to do, but at the same time, don't make accusations about my character and who I am when you don't know me. I understand this is your job and this is your profession and this is what you get to do, and basketball is my profession and what I get to do. And the reason I play it is when I step in between the lines, I love it. And that's what's so fun about it for me is I get to compete. This was always my dream, and nobody should ever try to take that away from me. The love and the joy that I have for the game, and they haven't and they won't, because it's my goal to win championships, and I know that I can help this team do that. And that's always what I remind myself in the moments that, things go downhill.
You have to be on the floor for those 17 games.
Damn right,
in order for that to happen, both health-wise
exactly.
and technical fouls.
Yeah, good point. I was thinking more health. I forgot about the technicals.
So how are you squaring that in your head? Because that is within
I think it should be a great challenge for me to try to last 17 games without getting a technical. Unfortunately, I haven't got a single technical foul rescinded all year. But I think
The reaction online was immediate and overwhelming. Social media filled with heated debates as fans questioned the officiating, demanded stronger disciplinary action, and argued that the league needed to do more to protect its players. The controversy quickly spread beyond basketball circles, with prominent media personalities weighing in from every angle. Dan Dakich used his podcast to criticize the situation, questioning how the incident was handled and whether enough had been done to keep Clark protected throughout the game. As the criticism continued to build, the WNBA reviewed the play the following day. After examining the footage, the league determined that the contact to Clark's throat warranted additional discipline, upgrading the play to a flagrant foul penalty 2 and issuing Alyssa Thomas a 1-game suspension, which she served when the Phoenix Mercury faced the Toronto Tempo on June 27th. Even with that decision, many fans argued the punishment was too light, keeping the controversy alive across the sports world. Attention then shifted to Caitlin Clark, with everyone waiting to hear her response. When she finally addressed the media in early July, she handled the moment with composure while making her position clear. Clark said she believed the play deserved a flagrant foul, acknowledging that officiating is a difficult job, but stressing that consistency and player protection must remain priorities. She emphasized that the league can continue improving its officiating standards and ensuring every player is given the safest environment possible, comments that quickly became one of the biggest talking points in the ongoing debate.
Is different than the woman you're facing. Okay, no matter what you do, no matter how many stuff you take, you're born and your biological DNA sets you up with an advantage if you're a man over a woman. That's it. Good night. That's all. The rest of these nuts that exploit this trans stuff, to me, are bad people. They're not misguided. They're bad people. They're stupid people. So Cunningham says, hey, I don't think biological men should be playing sports with girls. Biological girls. Roll tape.
I said what I said. I think it's kind of common sense. And I think I'll always believe in that. I think it's really important to protect children. And that's little girls who are also involved in that category. And so I stand on what I said, and I always believe that. I'm there to love, but I'm also there to love biological women. And I think that there are rights that need to be protected. And like I said, I'm going to stand true to that. I'll never falter in my beliefs in that, but I have never once said I hated the trans community. Like I said, I think there's space for everyone.
Okay.
Just when it seemed the controversy couldn't grow any bigger, the story took another unexpected turn. Days earlier, Alyssa Thomas had told reporters she was receiving disturbing online threats and harsh personal attacks, saying she felt unfairly portrayed by some fans while also criticizing WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert for not speaking out more forcefully against the abuse. Many wondered whether Caitlin Clark would respond by escalating the feud, but she chose a very different approach. Despite taking the hard contact during the game and later leaving with a back injury, Clark refused to encourage the hostility. Instead, she publicly condemned the harassment directed at Thomas, making it clear that personal attacks and online abuse have no place in sports. Clark emphasized that disagreements on the court should never become attacks on someone's character, a response that earned praise from fans, analysts, and fellow players alike. Her comments reinforced the image of a competitor who can separate fierce competition from personal respect, even in the middle of one of the league's biggest controversies. At the same time, the incident has intensified the conversation surrounding officiating, player safety, and the growing physicality of the WNBA. Media outlets continue to debate the league's response. Podcast hosts are dissecting every angle, and fans remain deeply divided as pressure builds on league officials to restore confidence and prevent similar controversies in the future.
Kind of doing this like Alyssa Thomas tried to step on her. Clay Travis come out and said WNBA players hate Caitlin Clark and a cheap shot because she's white and she's straight. How long have we been saying that? 3 years now. The WNBA's got a real problem here. They've got a real problem with the players in this league. And here is my issue. Stephanie White should have lost her ever-loving shit on that floor after that dirty shot from Thomas. Of course she didn't. Of course she didn't. Because she's tight with Alyssa Thomas and DeWanna Bonner. Stephanie White should have got thrown out of this game on that play right there. Thrown out of the game. She should have, at minimum, got an ugly technical out of it. Nothing. Stephanie White, she's not beating that.
The incident has ignited intense debate across the sports landscape, with league officials facing mounting pressure to respond. Fans are furious after a hard collision left one of the league's biggest stars shaken, triggering widespread calls for accountability. Social media erupted almost instantly after Phoenix Mercury forward Alyssa Thomas was involved in a forceful play that sent Caitlin Clark crashing to the court, a sequence many analysts, fans, and former players have described as unnecessary and avoidable. Even more surprising to viewers was that the officiating crew allowed play to continue without taking immediate action, fueling another wave of criticism aimed at the league's handling of physical play. The reaction has been relentless, with major media personalities devoting entire segments to the growing controversy. Commentators such as Bill O'Reilly have openly questioned whether the league has a larger issue surrounding Caitlin Clark, while podcast host Dan DeKeach has sharply criticized the WNBA's culture, adding even more fuel to a debate that continues to dominate headlines. The reaction online was immediate and overwhelming. Social media filled with heated debates as fans questioned the officiating, demanded stronger disciplinary action, and argued that the league needed to do more to protect its players. The controversy quickly spread beyond basketball circles, with prominent media personalities weighing in from every angle. Dan DeKeach used his podcast to criticize the situation, questioning how the incident was handled and whether enough had been done to keep Clark protected throughout the game. As the criticism continued to build, the WNBA reviewed the play the following day. After examining the footage, the league determined that the contact to Clark's throat warranted additional discipline, upgrading the play to a flagrant foul penalty 2 and issuing Alyssa Thomas a 1-game suspension, which she served when the Phoenix Mercury faced the Toronto Tempo on June 27th. Even with that decision, many fans argued the punishment was too light, keeping the controversy alive across the sports world. Attention then shifted to Caitlin Clark, with everyone waiting to hear her response. When she finally addressed the media in early July, she handled the moment with composure while making her position clear. Clark said she believed the play deserved a flagrant foul, acknowledging that officiating is a difficult job, but stressing that consistency and player protection must remain priorities. She emphasized that the league can continue improving its officiating standards and ensuring every player is given the safest environment possible, comments that quickly became one of the biggest talking points in the ongoing debate.